Hi, welcome back to Grains and Small Places. My name's Kara and my channel is dedicated to fresh milled flour and all of the things, the tips, the tricks, the recipes, and anything else that you can think of I try to share here. So today I'm going to go over some of the things and some interesting ideas or unique ideas that you can do if you have leftover bread, stale bread, imperfect bread, pieces of bread. What can you do with all of these? Do you have to throw them away or can you use them in something else? So let's get started. Okay, so one evening I was having dinner with my mom and she was talking about all of the ways that she likes to use her breadcrumbs and was thinking, you know, there might be other people out there interested in different ways that you can use leftover bread, stale bread, the bread ends. I have a daughter personally that likes the bread ends, so she will choose those. But if you don't have anybody in your family that really likes the bread ends, you may have excess ends. You may have a bread that didn't turn out exactly how you wanted it. Maybe it got overproofed, maybe it was underproofed, maybe you forgot the salt, whatever. I've heard all of like these different things that happen. What can you do with that bread? Do we have to throw it away? So she started telling me all the different ways she likes to use it. I started thinking all the ways we like to use it. And I was like, let's just share this with everybody. So also, if you have a way that you like to use your stale bread, your breadcrumbs, anything like that that we didn't mention in this video, make sure to leave a comment down below. That way you can share it with anyone watching this video, can also read the comments and see different ways that you guys like to use it too. So we don't always think of everything. I don't always have all the answers, but I try my best to answer the questions when you send them to me. So let's go ahead and get a list down in those comments below of how you like to use it. Or if I mention your favorite way to use it, let us know that's your favorite way to use it. So one of the easiest ways I think everybody thinks about is croutons. You can of course always cube any bread, any leftovers, sourdough, yeast, bread, doesn't matter, into croutons. So you cube those up and you can put some olive oil or melted butter on, season them and bake them. I do have a crouton recipe that we like to use. I'll make sure to put that down in the description box below. That way you can see how we like to do it, but you can always play with all of the seasonings and different ideas. You could even just do, you know, garlic salt or go crazy and use all the herbs. So really it depends on how you like your croutons. But another really great way to use them is in breadcrumbs. And that's what my mom was telling me about, how she loved to make them into breadcrumbs. And then that way she could sneak some fresh milled flour nutrition into some different things that you wouldn't normally get that fiber and vitamins, minerals, and nutrition in. So you can put that in there and still be getting fresh milled flour in your meal that day without actually eating a piece of bread or something like that. So it's kind of ingenious ideas. So to make the breadcrumbs, usually what you want to do is let them just kind of sit on the counter, not covered, after it's cut up. So like cut it in slices or cubes or whatever, let it sit for a day, even up to a day, and it gets kind of dry and stale. And then you can either crumble it up by hand or you can put it in a blender. It depends on how fine you want the crumbs. If you put it in a blender, you can make them really fine to where it's like perfect, almost flour texture, and you can use it for breading your meats and things like that. But you can use that breadcrumb and you can use the breadcrumbs plain or you can use them seasoned. So you could also make them into like Italian style breadcrumbs or plain breadcrumbs, or toast them with some butter and make panko breadcrumbs. And to make sure that you're keeping and locking in the breadcrumbs, you can put them in a jar or a bag or a container that's freezer safe and put your breadcrumbs in the freezer. So last week I talked a little bit about how you could work fresh milled flour into your daily life if you're busy schedule, things like that, all the tips and tricks of how to like work that in different ways. So if you missed that video, make sure to go back and check that one out. I'll try to put a link for it here. And then put it in the description box so you can go check that one out. But putting those in the freezer is definitely a great way that you can always have breadcrumbs. And then like I was talking about, you could increase the nutrition and the fiber content on things like meatloaf and meatballs. My mom likes to add it to her shredded chicken, so she'll put her shredded chicken in like a slow cooker, and she will use the breadcrumbs as the thickener to the juice. And I will tell you that everyone that has had my mom's shredded chicken sandwiches, they are always a hit and they are always requested by people. So it is definitely something that a lot of people enjoy. So maybe we'll see if we can get that recipe from her. So let me know, Mom, because my mom has shared some other recipes with us before. She did a surprise recipe for me for my birthday, and that was for her apple walnut cake with fresh milled flour that has a delicious cream cheese frosting. She also shared her chocolate zucchini cake, which has been a hit with all of you guys. I've been getting messages like crazy saying, yes, have your mom share more recipes. We're loving them. So that is always a great idea. But another thing that she was mentioning to me is she makes, when I was a kid and she would make us food, they would have, it's shake and bake, and I helped. So she will make like a homemade shake and bake, and she will put the breadcrumbs with the seasoning in a bag or something like that. Shake it with whatever meat, pork chops, chicken, fish, whatever your family enjoys, and then you can bake it. So that's a delicious option to add that fresh milled flour and extra fiber into your protein dish. You can also take those breadcrumbs and put some melted butter on them, and then use those for a topping on your casseroles. Like we like to use them on our, like if we do a baked macaroni and cheese or any potato casserole. Really, any casserole tastes great with those buttered, crispy breadcrumb topping is always a delight. And then you could also use them to coat any meat or veggie that you want. So you can make use the breadcrumbs, season them how you want them, salt, pepper, garlic, whatever you prefer. And then you can make an egg wash. You can take your meat, dip it in the egg wash, dip it in the breadcrumbs, and then fry it or bake it, or however you want to make it. Then that is an awesome option as well. I do have a recipe on how you can make fried pork chops. I also have fried eggplant parmesan. So recipes for like fried eggplant. You could use, I use flour in that recipe, but we also have tried using the breadcrumbs ground finely into like a flour. Works the same way. So anything that you would bread, any vegetable, any fruit, zucchini, squash, potato, even, like all the things. Everything tastes good with it, right? So I just wanted to share some of those ways that you could use that leftover stale bread, imperfect bread, whatever you want. Because if you forgot the salt in your bread, you can always throw salt in those breadcrumbs. Nobody will know the difference. If the bread didn't, rise correctly, nobody's going to know the difference once you grind that up into, or crumble that up into breadcrumbs. It's going to make a delicious second meal. And then you may find yourself running out of breadcrumbs and then saying, can I use my really good loaf of bread to make breadcrumbs, because what I want for dinner sounds really delicious. So sometimes you may find yourself making bread just to turn them into breadcrumbs or croutons. I have done that before. So I hope this video was helpful to you. Make sure to go check out that other video that I was talking about where I share all the ways you can work, tips like to work in fresh milled flour with your everyday life. And I hope you have a great day, and thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and leave that comment down below about how you like to use breadcrumbs or leftover stale bread. Or I was also thinking I do have a recipe for bread pudding. So that is another way that you could also use leftover bread. So I'll try to link that down in the description box below as well. So again, thanks so much for hanging out with me. Leave that comment down below. That way we can get a whole tally list going of all the things that we like to use our stale bread with to help some people out that kind of are new to this or don't really know what to do with it, don't want to have to throw it away. Who wants to waste right now, right? So if you do, thanks so much for sharing, and thanks for stopping by Grains in Small Places. Goodbye.